Damn, celebrity. Wait, Avi. We're gonna.
Is Avi in here?
We're gonna do celebrity questions.
What's up,
Yeah,
Avi?
can you get Avi on FaceTime? Avi, you ready?
I'm hella like in the water right now. I'm bathing. You're in the bath. I hope that's chill and like not weird.
That's vibes.
I'm just like relaxed, you know. I had like a glass of red.
I love that. That is beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question because this is something that's been on my mind. Honestly, for as long as I've been like creating music, and I want to know your thoughts on it, both of y'all, all of y'all, Ty included. How does your physical and mental health affect the quality of the music that you output? Do you find that you make really good music when your mental health is terrible? Do you make really good music when your mental and physical health is really good? Is it both? Is it neither?
Avi, that is
let me know.
That is so well timed considering the conversation we just had.
It is.
Like, you got to keep your body in physical shape to be an athlete. But like, what about? Like,
Yeah, because I heard that and I was like, well, you can kind of apply like the lifestyle of an athlete to like anything.
Yes, so true.
Damn,
So true.
that's bars.
Can I just...
Yeah, hold that. No, yeah.
That was a great question,
That
Avi.
is a great question.
Thank you for the question, Avi.
Wow.
I mean, it's interesting because I've made some really good music when I've been in a bad mental and physical place, but I've made some really good when I'm in a good physical and mental place.
Yeah.
I think for me, the biggest difference and the reason why I try to stay on the healthier side is that whether or not I'm making something good, I don't feel as good about it when I'm unhealthy as I do when I'm healthy.
Yeah, like your perception's sort of clouded.
Yeah, like it can still be good, but the way I feel about it isn't as... It just isn't as good as when I'm healthy.
I mean, I even got in this headspace a little bit with some of my previous work where like you sort of fetishize like bad health. You sort of fetishize like suffering
100%.
for the sake of like good art.
For sure.
Especially making emo music, like.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like as long as you're healthy and you're always challenging yourself and growing, there's always going to be like new things to write about and new like feelings that emerge. I know I just sort of answered my own question, but like
I was excited to hear it. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel the same. I mean, oh my God, especially when I first started writing music, like on like my like high school, like guitar in my bedroom, like, you don't love me. You know what I mean? Like, I was on that same shit where it's like, I can't, or like sleep deprivation. Like the first two EPs, I was, not the first EP, but the second EP was like made all at like past midnight. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, can I just like not make music like during the day type of shit? Which is like really scary when, I don't know, any sort of boundaries like that are self-imposed or anything kind of get scary, especially when it's like, I'm not going to say self-harming, but like affect you in a negative way.
like self-inflicted.
Yeah, self-inflicted, like sadness or suffering, and I don't know. It makes it kind of. I think it makes for toxic music as well. Like looking back on a lot of the stuff I've made, like especially before I started putting stuff on the internet. Like before, like the stuff on the internet has toxic qualities to it for sure. But before that, I just like went through like all my voice memos from like before 2015 type shit. Like I have like some 16-year-old Bryce shit that like almost a decade ago. And
Find a way to make that full circle, even if it's just for yourself.
yeah, no, Avi just said I've got to find a way to make that full circle. Avi is Patchymate for those who are unaware. Just to be clear, this is.
Was that on the mic?
I just want to make sure people said that. Avi said, I'm doing the whole transgender thing. It's pretty vibes, unquote. But yeah, Ty, what do you think about this?
So I feel very inspired when it comes to both of these things, both my health and music, from this man right here. We've been hitting the gym.
Yeah.
And honestly, bro, I have felt as good as I've ever felt like in my entire life. Not only like physically, but like mentally, and just like what I'm going through in life right now. Everything's adding up and just like sinking into place. And I feel like when all of that is in line, the music follows from it. Cause today you heard me, bro. Like make that one song from scratch, all the way up, like for hours today. And, like, what came out of that was so beautiful. So I think like health and just like good vibes all around makes such good music coming from that.
Yeah, because like when you just feel like in your body, no matter what you do becomes a good feeling, because you're always using your body. Even if you're sitting there doing something, you can't not be in your body. Like you have to be.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me especially when I work out with you, like when we're at the gym and I see you going hard and I'm going hard as well, it's just like it's like a fuel for my energy for like later on, if that makes sense. Like when I'm in the gym, it's like I'm only exuding the energy that I'm feeling like for the next set or like the next workout that we're doing. But all that energy that's created in the gym can like be transferred elsewhere in other aspects of life, which I think like is the reason why it goes hand in hand, like health and music, or like whatever you do, whether it's like drawing or if you make videos or if you write, like anything goes hand in hand. Like I think the gym is straight up just, this is Bryce's quote, but he said the gym just makes you like a superhuman person. I don't know what it was, but something along the lines of just like if you go to the gym, you're just like a superhuman. Albie fell.
I'm on the floor.
That's my fault. Sorry, I should have knocked. That's your quote. You said that to me.
Maybe that is my quote.
Yeah, I said that.
It is so true though, because like expending yourself physically is like,
Oh my God.
I got it.
it's not something we do typically.
Yeah, that's also a great point. I feel like music, like people that make music are often related to people that aren't healthy at all.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Same with like gaming and stuff like that. Like anything that requires you to sit in front of a computer and do things for a long period of time are just related to being the most unhealthy thing ever.
Yeah,
And I think that's like not right.
it's not because you can do both.
Anyways, I had a celebrity question real quick. I'm gonna get Bryce back on the mic. This question kind of stemmed from a conversation y'all were having like about 25 minutes ago, so it might seem a little late. No. But when you were talking about like all your side projects and when you were in high school, the music you were creating was very ambient and open, and I think you mentioned there was vocals on one of those projects that you were doing. But if you were in that state of being, like back in what year was it, 2016 or whatever?
Yeah, from like 2014 to like 2016.
All right, whatever it was, let's say that version of you was flipping through like your whatever, Spotify, whatever you had at the moment, and you came across Dream Yoga by Elroy.
Wow, that is a great question.
That is a really great question.
Would you like the song? I guess is what I'm asking.
That's a great question.
That is such a good question. Damn.
Because obviously 16 to, 24, 25, that's a big life difference. You go through a lot of life changes. So you're going to relate to it in different ways. But I guess the question I'm asking is more so on just a music preference level and content lyrically level.
Damn. I'm not gonna lie, I think there's certain parts of it I would love and certain parts that I would be iffy about. Like I think production wise I would be really into it, like the younger me. I think younger me would have really liked the guitars and like the drums and like the sound design and stuff. I don't know if younger me would like the vocals actually, now that I think about it. Cause like maybe I would, cause there's an Owl City component to those that vocal delivery.
There is, but
because that was my shit vocally back then. Like I needed a very even vocal delivery that was like consistent, but like lyrically, like what I'm talking about in the song, I don't think I would have had any frame of reference for that back then. So that's the thing that I'm really stumped about is like, I don't know how I would feel about that.
It's interesting to ask you about that though, because all right, a better question is, what if Owl City wrote Dream Yoga? Would you relate to it?
It probably would have been my favorite shit in the world,
right.
bro.
Okay, that makes sense. Also, another quick question I had. I think y'all were talking about it before, but something that just like came to my mind as we were talking about the whole health thing and mental health is manifestation. Is there anything that you wake up and like manifest every single day?
Well, I think this actually leads perfectly into something that you wanted to talk about in the questions you sent me, which was about like spirituality and like religion, etc. Because I've meditated pretty consistently since I started the Elroy project, and I still contribute my ability to like follow through on all that stuff to meditation, truthfully. Because when I was making the Sunny songs, which was like 2019, I would wake up at 6 a.m. every day, or just whenever the sun would come up, I would wake up and I would meditate for about 30 minutes. And it wasn't exactly manifestation. It was more of like, I'm going to be exactly where I am for an allotted amount of time.
Grounding yourself.
And then I'm going to go about the rest of my day, essentially. Yeah. And that's still something I do now. I think that's probably the closest thing I do to what you're talking about, because it's not like I don't really want something specific out of my life in general. I just want to like feel good about what I'm doing all the time, which I feel like the way to do that is to just like you just do it. Like it's a very like it's really simple at its core. It's just harder to put into practice, which is why for me experientially just like sitting there 15-20 minutes a day, like just sitting in emptiness, it helps me to just do the things that I do in my day with like with a level of like joy.
Yeah, it keeps you grounded.
Yeah.
If you generalize what you want out of life and what you wish for, it relieves pressure from what you do in your day-to-day.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It can allow for more things to happen, and, you know, I'm a big believer on like go with the flow. I don't know about you, but
yeah, same.
Christian colliding with Mars recently said to me, because we were talking about things like just how like thought processes in music history and art history evolve, like modernism and then postmodernism and then what's after postmodernism and everything. And he said this thing that was like, reject meta-modernity and embrace the Tao. And I was like, yeah.
You said reject meta-modernity and embrace the doubt?
Tao.
The Tao.
The
like
Tao?
The Tao, like Taoism.
Oh. Can you expand on that?
So I feel like right now we're in a more than ever, there's so much shit out there, right? There's like TikToks going on where there's 3 videos at the same time just to like keep your brain numb so that you don't have to think about things. And like, arguably it's like really bad for like people's brains and shit. And like, I would say this is like, we're past postmodernism and we're into like, we all grew up with the internet knowing that history is a thing. And so we have this like sort of meta perspective on the world. And that leads to like just the insane amount of fucking content we have today. But I feel like if you sort of like let go of trying to keep up with all of this core and that core and, you know, cottage core and post-cottage core intercepting God.
I love cottage core.
All of these like different aesthetics that are intertwined and trying to keep up with what's cool or whatever. And you just allow yourself to be as you are day to day and like literally just focusing on the things that are physically around you and the things that are in your life, and then you create art about those things. It just leads to healthier creation, in my experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think even like beyond creative experience, it's just an overall better experience of life, where it's just like, you don't need to reject anything. You don't need to do anything specific other than just what you're doing.
You can still be inspired by aesthetics and stuff, but that's just like, as long as you're like staying true to like what you're interested in, you know what I mean? You'll be fine.
All right, well,
I totally agree.
Elroy, Bryce, thank you for allowing me on.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I love you.
Say
Goodbye,
bye, chat.
beautiful people. Goodbye, Kat. I love you.
Bye, Avi. We love you.
Elroy, I want to say you're a very inspiring person. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, man.
On and off the field. Character is built off the field. Character shines on the field. And I think you are great in both aspects. So I appreciate you being a part of my life every day.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Can we get a hug real quick?
Of course. I love you, bro. I love you too. All right. Back to you, Bryce. Thank you for having me on.
God damn. Yes, Ty. Those are some fantastic questions and even better vibes. All right. And also thank you, Avi.
Thank you, Avi.
We got some
Patchymate.
great friends. Yeah, shout out Patchymate.
Ty Lorenzo.
Everybody stream the shit out of their music. For real. Damn. Oh my God. And thank you for bringing up spirituality as well. That's something I was excited to touch on, so it sounds like you started doing a lot of meditating and like, that's been like a big part of your process recently in terms of like staying present and being in the moment. This question is from Ollie.
The Ollie question.
The Ollie questions. The GOAT. So currently, what is one part of your daily practice or lifestyle that makes you proud?
Pride is such a weird thing to me.
Damn, talk to me.
I don't want to go off on a tangent, but
talk to me about that.
I try my best to not be proud of things in general.
Yeah. Oof, I love that.
Just because like I don't really want to like do something just to like be able to talk about it or to like the things I do that I think are good for me. I do them for that exact reason, or at least I try to.
So what is one part of your daily practice or lifestyle that makes you feel very good? Like, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Diet. Diet is the first thing that comes to mind. Yeah. I mean, you know that I eat in a very specific way. I essentially eat the same exact things every single day. I just know when I eat in a way that's not good for me, I feel that. It affects me not just physically, mentally.
Yeah.
It's just not good. Like, it just doesn't feel good to do so. It feels good in the moment sometimes because of, like, the sense of pleasure or whatever.
Yeah. Chop chizzy at 4 a.m., baby.
But, yeah, I eat in a very specific way because I know what is good for me, and so I eat that stuff every day.
Yeah.
Because, like, to me, it's just logically, like, why would I not do that? So, yeah, I would say food. I would say the way I eat.
Yeah. What is your favorite? What is your favorite meal of the day? And describe
salad.
It to us.
I make a salad.
Yo, Ty knows.
I make a salad. I'll give you all the recipe because like it's not even.
Yeah, bust it down.
It's not even.
I need it too.
It's not even anything crazy. But so we go kale. You gotta massage the kale with olive oil.
You like have to like massage shit out of it. I learned that the hard way.
Don't put a lot of olive oil. Like it's a little bit, because too much is too much fat anyway. You put a little bit of olive oil, massage it, rip it up a little bit, and then in that you put seitan, which is a wheat protein. It's vegan, so it's good for a lot of reasons. It's got the same nutritional value as chicken, so a little bit of seitan. Toss that in there.
You grill up the seitan.
Grill up the seitan in a little bit.
Or you fry
oil.
It up, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even season it. You can like buy them seasoned.
That shit smells like God.
Yeah, like just toss that in there. Sweet potatoes, wild rice, avocado, Honeycrisp apple, and some sort of honey, sesame, balsamic, something in that category as your dressing.
Yep.
Maybe even mix them up a little bit.
Sauce. I just want to like second how fucking.
Oh, maybe a little bit of granola in there too, or some oats.
Granola. Oh. I know that shit is crazy.
I make a big old bowl of that every day.
I think what's great about that is that like also like when you're eating it, like it takes forever to eat, which is such like a nice process. Like it's not that it's like unbelievably filling or like a crazy amount of food, but it just like takes like it's just like you're present when you like eat that.
Yeah, and
salad.
you'll feel light. Like that's a massive. Like you can make them big. That'll fuel you for so long, and you will feel light afterwards, regardless of how much food you just ate. Make a big old bowl. You can go make music, like read a book, do whatever, and just grip that and like eat it for like 2 hours.
Yeah, so great as like a dinner meal.
Yes.
If you don't want to, because like, you know, going to bed for like a full night's sleep with like a full stomach is just like if you want nightmares, that's how you do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But so yeah, that's I don't know. There was a couple weeks there with Ollie actually when we were like mainlining that meal, and it was so good.
Oh yeah, I forgot that y'all were like.
Yeah, I don't know
making
why we stopped. I think it was effort that like we just didn't. But that shit was so good. And like, but one time I tried to make it, I like didn't know you had to massage the kale, bro.
Oh, it's
my
hard.
God, bro. That shit annihilated me. So trial and error though, we get there.
Yeah,
we get there. Kind of on a similar note, what is one thing that you wish people understood about you and your process?
I feel like there's an obvious way to answer this, and I am going to answer it that way. I haven't released a lot of music in the last year or two, and the reason why is because it just wasn't good enough. Like, it's a very simple thing for me.
Yeah.
It's not a very deep thing. Truly, I don't believe it was a case of like getting in my head or anything like that. It's just, I believe in my
taste.
Yeah. And I believe in my ability to like measure what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't live up to the standard that I believe my music should, then it doesn't come out. Like, it's that simple. Like, as a musician and artist too, like just the whole like package of the way that my shit goes out. It just has to be genuinely cool to me. So when I have ended up inactive and stuff, it's because I don't go through periods of not making stuff. Like that doesn't happen. I'm like, it's just a consistent period of always trying to do something cool. If I end up inactive, it's just not working. Yeah. And like, that's as simple as it is. That can be kind of frustrating, but at the same time, like, I don't really get super stressed generally, but like specifically regarding that area. Like, before I made Dream Yoga, for example, like, sure, there's a feeling of like, oh, like I haven't released in like over a year. Yeah. Like, damn. But still, I don't know. I'm a pretty optimistic person. So like, and I'm always making stuff. So it's kind of like a logical, just like, I'm going to make something really cool. Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah, and I mean, like being in this household, or just living in the same general vicinity as you, like you hear all the stuff you're making, and like for us on the outside, like it's all like most of the shit is like holy fuck, like I'll be playing video games and it's like for me like Dream Yoga was just like one of the billion, you know what I mean? And what I forgot as well, like we've talked about this, but like my interactions with you during that time was like would be stress inducing at times for you because like. We'd be hearing shit and we'd be like, no, dude, that's fire. Just post like, and like on your end, like before you release, like it's important for you to, as we talked about, enjoy it.
Yes.
And
that brings me to actually a really important aspect of this is that, because I don't throw songs away. Like that's not something I do. I know like a lot of people have like certain demos that I play that they really want to come out. Like those might come out at some point. Like, I'm just going to say that. Because like, nothing dies. Like nothing ever dies. It's kind of like a, cause I know like, I've made demos that y'all are like, yo, like you need to like, this should be your next song. Yeah. And like, if I don't feel that way, then I'm not going to follow through with it. Yes. But that song might find its time later. Like Dream Yoga was like that hook and that original song and other verses that I'd written before on different songs. They all found their time.
Their home.
That was the perfect space. Like they just occupied that space perfectly, and so it worked, and it was a song that came out. Damn. I have so many demos, and there's a potential that all of that stuff ends up on some song at some point. Like truthfully, a lot of my writing these days is just grabbing verses and hooks that I've already written that I really like. They just need to find the right space.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I could not. That is a great answer to that question. That is fire. I think like getting closer to you as well in this space and like kind of getting used to interacting with each other as artists, like living together. That was like a really important conversation that like you had with me over time of like, how to be supportive in that space of like when you're not releasing things, but like you're still making stuff and like, there's so much nuance to it. And it like really just, I've noticed our house actually getting so much better at this. Like, for example, when I was showing that like snippet from like Instagram and like, Ant was like, oh, like make this like into a whole song. And like other people were like, oh, like you just keep it as like the nugget or whatever. There was like this air of like, yo, but like you do what you feel. And I feel like that's like just been happening recently, like for the past couple months. Like that's been really powerful.
For sure. Yeah. Cause I think like I understand why, you know, you hear your friend make something really cool and you're
A dinger.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
you should like, I feel like it almost evokes this like anger.
Yes.
Because you're just, because you're just like, why? Like,
Yeah, bitch.
yeah, like
Yeah.
when the other person shows some amount of like indecision, you're
Yeah.
like, why would you?
Yeah.
Like, why would you not
Yeah.
put this out? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. It's so clear from the outside.
Yeah, it's so clear from the outside, but like every artist has their own intentions and like they're all aiming to do different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have felt that too, where it's like it's kind of like when we hear something that, like if I hear something you like, it's like, dude, like I could say like, that's my favorite thing I've ever heard from you.
Yeah.
Do what you want with it though.
Yeah,
like, sort of
yeah,
thing.
straight
It's like,
up. Yeah,
because
straight
like
up.
it does. I think your friends' opinions on what you make is really important, especially
Yeah.
when you love the stuff that they make.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, I think you just gotta respect that. Like again, everybody just they're trying to do a different thing
Yes.
with their music, and you know, if you genuinely believe that the thing you're working on is not what you're trying to do, then like that's totally valid. 'Cause
Yeah.
I used to feel like it wasn't sometimes. Like I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm just tripping that I don't like this song.
Yeah.
Like it's objectively good or whatever.
Yeah, because like 8 people have been like, yeah,
Exactly. But like I find time and time again that like the thing I actually was looking for, I end up making.
And that's such a good feeling, like that feeling you were talking about at the start of Dream Yoga, where it's like, this is it.
That was it. Yeah,
This
like
is it.
that's what I was trying to do.
Yeah. Which at the end of the day, like I think like people who listen to the music will feel. And like, I mean, you know, we've talked a lot about like the difference between like, you know, pulling up a song on Dropbox and listening to it and like pulling it up on Spotify.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like when it's
with the cover art,
packaged.
canvas, like
Yeah, and you see the little
title,
stream numbers
it's got
next
the
to it.
explicit block next to it.
Dude, that explicit block
It adds
is
so much.
the parental advisory sticker. You know what I mean? Like we're official. There's something special to just like putting your own weight behind it, and I think like you have always been like incredible at that. I feel like since like I first started talking to you about music, you would always add the caveat of like, look, like this is maybe this is my opinion, but like you need to like take this where you want. And even past that at times, like I remember talking to you about giving feedback and you were like, yeah, dude, like I don't try and give feedback like based on like what I would want to do with the song. I give it on like how I think they would want to do it with the song. And I feel like that's such like a dope perspective to have so early on, especially like I hadn't interacted with that many artists at that point. And so I was just like, whoa, that's so fucking empathetic. Like, damn. So yeah, that's great answer. Let me pull my
Thanks.
question list. I went blank. Do you want to touch more on your spirituality? Do you feel like
Yeah, sure.
I think the other question I had on this, how do you think your experience of spirituality affects your current like day to day?
I think I have come full circle in a lot of ways regarding that. Cause I mean, as you know, like I just went on a retreat. I went on a Tibetan Buddhist retreat to Italy, and I was actually there when Dream Yoga came out. And it's I'm at a place in spirituality now. First off, regardless of why I was there, that was a really interesting experience. Like having my song come out when I was busy doing all of this like meditation and stuff.
Yeah. Just quickly, what does it look like normally when your song comes out? What do you do that day?
For me, like I can't not be on my phone. Like I just want to see like, oh, what does everybody think? Like, because people are DMing me, they're like posting it on their story, leaving comments on the SoundCloud or like whatever. And like for me, it's like I feel like I have to know that.
Yeah.
I'll always start second guessing my song right before it comes out.
Yeah.
So I need to see people be like, oh, this is the best song you ever did. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, it is.
Did that happen with Dream Yoga?
No, so like I just couldn't do that this time around. It was like, because it was in Italy, like I woke up at like 5 a.m., made all the arrangements for like the Instagram post and like blah, 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 was able to like quickly see some people's reactions, and then I had to go.
Yeah.
And then I was like meditating all day and like my phone is off and everything. And I'm getting all these teachings and stuff. And then like, you know, the retreat is over and I'm like going back, and that's when I could turn on my phone and like see everything. But I'd have these moments like during the meditations where I was like, damn, like I wish I could check my phone, like see what everybody's saying. And I don't know. It's like, that's a valid thing. Like I do want to know what people think about what I'm doing because I care a lot about it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is like I foresee that the next song I put out, I will be on my phone all day.
Yeah.
Because like I will have the opportunity to do.
Yes.
Like I'm not gonna say that being in this retreat for that like changed everything and like I'm a different person now.
Well, because you've also expressed that you like enjoy that.
I do exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like to see. I don't know. I'm realizing that like that's kind of the reason like I'm on this live stream right now, or like I'm just trying to engage more in general because like I love making the music and I've always felt that putting that out was like that's enough engagement. Like I'm working really hard on these songs and I'm sharing them with people. Like that's me engaging with them. And it definitely is. But like I also want to like talk to these people who resonate with my work. And you know, so like when they send me DMs when the song comes on, they really like it, and I have a little conversation with them about the song. Like that's dope. Yeah. Like that's awesome. And I want to be doing like that's what I want to spend my release day doing. Is like, yo, how'd you get the like mix to sound like? How did the vocals so warm? It's like, dude, I did blah blah blah. Like
you be answering that shit now?
Yeah, like that's the best thing.
Oh
and, like,
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I used to like put a barrier between me and people regarding stuff like that because I was like, oh, it's a secret and like blah blah.
The sauce.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, like. Nah, like I just like it's fun to talk about. I like talking about it with my friends. Why would I not talk about it with somebody who really likes a song? But going back to spirituality, yeah, like because I grew up Catholic and I was like super into it. Like I would do my rosary beads and like pray every night. But it became this thing where it was like it was like superstition. Like I would like pray at night just in case. Yeah, just so my family and me and the people I love would stay protected. Like I'd have to name all them in this very specific order to make sure everybody's good. And that became like an annoyance to me where it was like I can't not do this because like God's gonna hurt us or something. Yeah. I didn't even know about other religions or like worldviews.
How old was like do you remember it being like kind of annoying? Like it's just like, oh, okay, I got to do this.
Pretty early on, I would say like middle school, like when I was like 13, 14. Yeah. Because it was happening at the same time. Like that's when I really developed my prayer that I would say every night. And I was really like diligent about like constructing a prayer that like covered all my bases. Yeah. But
damn, that's kind of beautiful.
But yeah, it was, but it quickly just became a thing that I just had to do.
Yeah. It's
like I didn't feel any sort of thing when I did it. I just did it for safety. Damn. And then I got older and then eventually stopped doing the prayers and just didn't have any sort of like religion or spiritual alignment. And I discovered Buddhism around the time when I started making music as Elroy, like when I was making the Sunny songs. Like I referenced for a second, like I was waking up super early and meditating. I was studying Zen Buddhism. I would still say that is like my preferred. Calling it a religion is kind of weird.
Like practice?
Yeah. Like, yeah. Zen Buddhism and the stuff they do is like, that's what works for me. Because they have one practice. Like it's called Zazen. They sit. That's what they do. Like they sit in Zazen. You got to keep a good form. Aside from that, that's basically what the technique is. That made a huge difference in my life when I was making music. And it kind of allowed me to like let go in a way that I was never able to before. And I could just keep making this music. Wow. I kind of lost the practice at a certain point, found it again. And since then I've delved into a lot of different Buddhist stuff. Yeah. I haven't really looked into too many religions outside of Buddhism. It's not to say that I won't. I just
right now it's like fin the mold.
Exactly. Yeah. What you need. And like the retreat I just went on was not for Zen. I learned a lot from that I'm still sort of processing. But I'm happy to say that I feel like that I'm no longer in like a spiritual pursuit, which I felt like I was for a while. Wow. Where it was like I was looking for something other than what I was currently experiencing.
Yeah. Damn, that is a beautiful feeling. I feel
it is. Yeah.
It's lovely to hear.
Yeah,
also.
It's kind of in a certain way. It's just like, oh, the search is over. Like, I can just be right here. Damn. And like that's the best thing.
Yeah. So kind of was that like before? That was after the retreat. You were like.
I think afterwards.
You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Is the I know you're still processing that retreat, obviously, because It seemed intensive, to say the least.
It was, yeah.
But what is one thing that you really feel like you've brought from that retreat into your day-to-day life that you think on
See,
often?
that's the thing, is like nothing in particular is like the only way I feel like I can answer that.
Do you feel like you think about a certain thing from that week often? Or is it all just meshing in? Because I feel like both of those are very common experiences where it's like sometimes there's one thing that spikes.
It does feel like it's all meshing in. I feel like it gave context to like all of my spiritual practice before that.
Right. Yes. Yep.
Plus there was like some new stuff added in there. But I would say the overarching thing is that it didn't change anything about my intellectual understanding of the world.
Yeah.
And of like the base of reality.
Right.
Which was kind of troubling me coming out of the retreat, because I was like, I feel like I should understand that now.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, wait, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Because I found that as I think about it, I disagree with a lot of the stuff I was taught at the retreat.
Dope. Yeah.
And I like that. Like, I think that's cool.
Because you're like finding where you sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I feel like because sometimes I can get too deep in the spiritual practice, right?
Yeah.
I don't really like how people talk about themselves in like such a deterministic way where they're like, I feel like I've talked with you about this, where like, I'm the type of person to do this.
Yeah, we just had this conversation.
I'm the type of person to like do that. But I feel like I kind of fuck with that now. Like writing your own story and like deciding like, oh, like I do these, like I'm like this.
I mean, part of that is just being self-aware.
Yeah. It's just like you are kind of structured in like a certain way. It's like going way back to what we were talking about with like my childhood and stuff. There's like certain mannerisms.
They just hold on to.
Yeah. I just exhibited them then and like I do now.
Sometimes the bird flies by and you're like, damn, I'm in that bird.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah. Like I'm just in that bitch. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Personality is a real thing. People.
Bars.
Because, like, honestly, sometimes I've been like, I don't know if it is.
Yeah.
But I do think it is. And I think, again, like, writing your own story, like, is cool. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I've kind of felt like that's not cool sometimes. Because it's like, I should be fluid. Like, I should be adaptable. Like
I ain't in no box. Like I don't.
Yeah,
you can't
like,
you can't categorize me.
Yeah.
I am a nebula.
Yeah.
I am cloud.
Yeah, but it's like, nah, dude. Like people have preferences and like.
Yeah, like, bitch, you look like an iron rod to me. I fucking see right through you. Yeah, I've been having a little bit of that too recently. Obviously, a lot of these conversations, we've had versions of before, but I hadn't heard you talk about that retreat in the sense of like. In that way before, I guess, like especially in the senses of like being especially like in like the disagreeing with some of it and stuff like that. I'm really excited to like continue having conversations about this as you process it more as well. That's dope.
Yeah, dude, I'd love to keep talking about it because like I was in a mode where I was like, oh, like I can't talk about any of this. Like I almost felt bad that I like disagreed with some of it. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
it was like, well, I just got here. Like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But as I kind of just was telling you, like, that's cool. Like, I'm going to form opinions on things because, like, that's what we do.
Yeah, dope. So, like, now in your kind of, like, lack of chase of spirituality and your more solidified version of that, like, how would you describe that? Your solidified version of spirituality? I
don't know. I don't think solidify is the right word. Actually, maybe it is. I feel like any sort of meditative practice or like spiritual practice I do now, it's like it's not on a need to do basis. It's not on like I used to view meditation and any sort of spiritual practice as like medicine. It was like, oh, like I need to purify myself and fix certain things and like this is how I do it. Kind of just I don't know. It's like I think, and this is like part of what the teachings that I got on my retreat that I agree with is like I think we're pure from the start, and the way that you stay pure is not by like doing some specific thing. It's just remaining like relaxed and open.
Right.
So nowadays, like if I wake up and I don't want to meditate, like I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'll just go drink coffee and like read a book or like do some bullshit. Like I might make breakfast and like watch a TV show. Like,
get set up.
If like play in 2K or something. Like as long as if I feel in that moment like I want to be doing something else, then like I will not do that thing.
Yes.
But
damn, so it sounds like just a true like presence in yourself and like what your needs and wants are at the moment.
Yeah, it's like why don't make yourself meditate or do some practice. Like why would you do that?
You have the agency to do what you want, so it's like, man. Like,
yeah, but it is. I mean, I think it is like a balance.
It's a balance, yeah. Because I mean, it's always the thing of it's like, well, to get there, you had to like, or you didn't have to, but you did go through a phase of like
being more intense
forceful,
about that. Yeah, for sure.
Damn, that is a beautiful sequence of events. I think, like, especially like coming from that, like the protective Catholic practice of just like, fuck, we gotta make sure we don't go to hell or like die, you know what I mean? Like, let's just fucking tick these boxes type shit.
Yeah.
It's like, this sounds like an incredible arc of like coming into a place where it's just like spirituality is like felt within like one's body and like wants and needs and like where you are currently in your experiences.
Yeah, to me it feels like a more I don't know if there's a word for this. Just like being adequate for whatever the circumstances are, like in that very moment.
Damn, accepting.
Yeah,
holistic. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, which I think that's the thing. It's like it's a pretty simple thing, but it's harder to like actually do it.
I hear this also. I'm drawing a thread between like the way you were talking about pride as well. I've also been on like a fuck pride wave recently. Actually, not like as in being proud of things. Jesus Christ. It's been a rough stream for me, y'all. But you know that Uncle Iroh quote? Did I tell you about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Uncle Iroh quote of...
Run it.
Like, let me see if I got it on me right now. Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. Only true humility is the antidote to shame. And that's been hitting recently. And I think that, like, you talking about, you know, what part of your practice makes you feel good instead of, like, what makes you proud is, you know, a beautiful exercise in humility there.
Yeah.
And, like, also talking about almost like an acceptance of lack of control almost in the sort of, like, you got to wake up and you got to meditate or else, like, everything falls apart. It's like, well... You know, yeah, it's kind of letting go, as we've talked about like a bunch tonight, especially like in the art and stuff. When we first started talking, I think you had just gotten into Zen. You had been into Zen for a while.
Yeah, I was probably into it for like a year.
Yeah, a year or so.
Yeah,
I remember you talking about it. And,
making no fucking sense.
No, you were. I was like, wow. Like I remember that was like the one we like. You know what? Yeah, this is a sneaky little origin story. So I'm super into Aries. It's 2019 maybe. And I'm following a couple Aries fan pages. And one of them posts like a top 5 Aries copycats. And you were at number 1, I think. Or maybe number 3 or
I probably was
like
number 1. I probably was.
No, I don't know. I think like Detro, shout out Detro was on there. Ty might have been on there. I think Monto definitely was. And I like just looked at everybody and that was like my first touch with Elroy. All of these people ended up becoming like good friends on either the internet or in real life, who I now live with. 2 out of 5. And we had a group chat called Poop Chat, which was like the most active friendship group I've like ever been a part of for like 2 years of my life there. And it was me, Ty, Elroy, Monto, and Aliz Carlo. Shout out AZ, man. We love you. I know you're going to fucking see this later. And shout out Monto, who's living his life right now.
Out in Tokyo.
And yeah, and dude, like Monto actually was a huge inspiration behind this and like the podcast that he did with Ty and everything. But when we first started hanging out, I remember talking about how you interacted with fans and being like, yo, like, why can't just like putting music out be enough, like engagement and stuff. And we had like a lot of conversations about like different ways to interact with just the people who were like consuming the art. And so it's, I don't know, it's just been like a beautiful arc to like watch you just like open up and like almost just like fall into the shoes that you accidentally made for yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, well, shit. And I don't know. I mean, you're obviously like your introduction to the internet was rough because like with those fan pages, I think like Sonny had been out for like a couple months or something.
Only on SoundCloud.
Only on SoundCloud. Yeah, no, the Spotify stuff didn't hit for a while. And yeah, there was just like immediate obsession / hate, like type of thing. And I remember talking to you about like, it's like, man, like, how are you, like, you're so like mysterious online. Like you don't post much, but like when you do post, and like, that was the thing you said. You were like, dude, like, why do I have to be interacting? Like, I thought it was so purposeful. Cause for me, it was just such like, I want to like talk to everybody who messages me type of shit. And you're like, I'm fucking mad. Like,
no, yeah, I know. Yeah. That was the funny thing. Cause like, I feel like a lot of people have like labeled me as mysterious, but like, it never crossed my mind. Question of like, oh, like, do I act like this or like act like this, like on the internet? It was just like, oh, I don't like want to do that. Yeah. So like I didn't. It was just like a very like logical thing. Yeah. I feel like everything about like my internet presence has been like logical. It's not like an intentional like, oh, like I'm only gonna do this when like this and that. Like it's just like oh, like when I'm putting a song out, like I'll do some things on social media. When I'm not gonna be on there because like why would I do that? Yes. Sort of thing. It's like a pretty black and white thing, I feel like. Yeah, and I stole the shit out of that from you. And it like saved my mental health. Like it was crazy. And then afterwards, I remember you getting, I remember a manager hitting you up and like comparing you to Frank Ocean. And like I was just, like in terms of like the mystery and like the star potential and shit, which I disagree with. Like I think it's like, I personally think it's like stronger. Like I'm like, I see like higher potential, which I've told you about. Like, dude, like for sure, hands down, like in terms of like world building and like the whole nine. And, but around that time, we started talking about more of like manipulating it to like, I remember having like a conversation where it was just like, yeah, like when people like deify you type of shit, like how do you interact with that? And it was like, we were talking about like the merits of like going along with it or just like pulling back and like that type of shit. And I remember just being like, you know what? I could use a little bit more of like the deification type of shit. And I just like pulled out of social media and I like really like followed those cues. And like now I think it's actually like provide like a really nice framework of like I'll just like delete Instagram when I'm not like posting and like, and it's like really helpful engagement and mental health wise. Like you really crack the code with like just doing what you want. Well, yeah, I think that's the thing is like, I don't know. Cause you get so much, people have a lot of opinions about like the way to do things on social media like, as an artist. Yeah.
Do you want to shout out the GOAT?
I'm not gonna name names. There's a GOAT though out there who drops knowledge regarding music and like the way to roll things out. I like a lot of what he says, but at the same time, I think you just have to do like what is comfortable for you. And to his credit, he says that like you need to. It's good to be consistent, but also it's like if like DMing people or something like that like brings a certain level of uncomfortability or something. Yeah. Or like if showing too much of your personal life on social media is uncomfortable or feels wrong to you, then like don't do it. Like, yeah. I don't know. I just don't really believe in like sacrificing stuff like that.
I mean, that's like the
for a chance at like success.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
I guess that's like the definition of selling out. I feel like it's like just like doing shit that like doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, you know, I've definitely like had some touches with that where it's like I've like, you know, chosen like the career over like people I love and type of shit. And like, it just feels disgusting. Like you just don't, I mean, you see this in so many fucking movies and like everybody always talks about it, but when you actually brush up against it, it's just like, God damn. Like, it's so alluring. It's like everything I've worked for like right now. And it's like, there's no such thing as right now.
Yeah, true.
Like in any industry, really, the goal should be sustainability. Like how can you make this a sustainable thing that you can do often for a long period of time? And like, what do you want that to look like? And like, how can you like be happy doing that? I remember like I had like a really rough year when I was like 19. My dad asked me, so what would you like rate your average day? And I was like, man, it's probably like 4 out of 10 maybe type of shit. And I was like, maybe some days are 5. He's like, man, I mean, you know, if you're having like a 5, most of your days are like 4 to 5 out of 10, you're gonna have like a 4 to 5 out of 10 year type of shit. And I just like extrapolated that so hard. I was like, what? And it just really like got me more into that mode of like almost like hedonistic to like a certain extent, where it was just like, dude, like, how do you make your day to day above a 6? You know what I mean? So you can kind of have, I mean, it's oversimplifying it, obviously, because there's a lot of fulfillment that comes from like working hard and like going through trials to like succeed at things. But I don't know. I just think the whole like grind set grabbing at like golden straws type of shit is like super dangerous. Like there's no fast forwarding this shit. Like you just, because even if you do, then it's like, bro, your life is still like, you still gotta make music.
Yeah,
type of
like
shit.
your life is still just right. What's going on right now.
Yeah.
I think like you said, like any sort of like grasping for some sort of thing is
Yeah, it's like that's.
Yeah, it's just like not. I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I guess it's like as much as I can say. Like
Yeah, there's a rhythm to it.
yeah, like I think that the sustainability aspect, like you said too, is like really important. Of just like, yo, like, I mean, I guess specifically in regards to being an artist, like people want like deals and to like talk with these A&Rs and like managers and stuff like that. Like my career or whatever could like maybe be at some sort of different point than it is now if I went about things in a different way.
Yeah.
If I made like more compromises that I like didn't really want to make, but like I like doing things the way I do them. So like, why would I like not do that? I feel like I'm ending a lot of my answers and being like, why would I do that?
Right. Yeah.
But like that is genuinely a question that like pops in my head a lot. Of just like, why? Like, genuinely think about like, why would you do that sort of thing?
I mean, I think that's like super important. Hello, it's Bryce from the editing booth in a cafe. I want to clarify here that there are moments in careers that can absolutely be capitalized on, like classic example being going viral on TikTok. I think what we were trying to say here, though, is that you should be getting enjoyment or fulfillment out of most of the process. It's okay to not sometimes, but if a majority of the time you're just not having a good time, it's probably a great idea to reevaluate why you're grinding for the thing you're grinding for. Like if you're grinding your ass off to become a lawyer, for example, because you want financial stability, that might make a lot of sense to you and bring you fulfillment as you get close to the goal. But either way, if you keep finding yourself having bad days, hit a little reevaluation and see what you think of it by the end. Anyway, okay, big love, bye. Well, get back to it. You know, I had a couple people recently bring up like priorities and shit. It's like, okay, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, what are your priorities in this situation? I was like, I don't know. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And then I actually wrote them down and I was like, wow, that was extremely clarifying, actually. Yeah. Like, putting that shit on paper and just being like, oh, like, I just, like, stripped so much out of my life. Like, I was like, oh, I don't actually want this shit.
Yeah.
So I think asking why is actually very important. I think that's actually a great way to end a lot of things you've been saying.
Dude, yeah. Like, I feel like intention is just like...
Intention,
one of the most important things.
Intention 2023. I swear to fucking God. Holy shit. I feel... Dude, yeah. I don't know. I think there was literally up until like a month ago, just so little intention. Just letting shit ride was like my life type of shit. But I remember also on your shit about like A&Rs and like trying to like do the industry thing. There was like a couple years there where like we first started getting like attention from the industry and shit. And it's just so intoxicating. Like you just like want to talk to the managers and like all this shit. And they're like, anyway, so like this is like what we can offer and shit like that. And then I just remember us having this one conversation of like, okay, but if we had no music ready at this point in time. And it was like, okay, if I was to have music ready, what would you do with it? And it was like, there were so many of those. Which was hilarious. I feel like we spent a lot of months debating what we would do if we had music.
But we had nothing.
And like, what would we do if we had music and a deal? Like,
dude, because that's the thing. I feel like both of us like got caught up in a certain phase where it was like, dude, like I would like literally just like walk around and like listen to these unfinished ass demos and be like, oh, dude, like, yeah, like. I'm gonna get this advanced and like,
Yeah.
like I just wasn't. There was definitely a period of time where I was like just super interested in all that industry sort of stuff, and I lost all interest in like actually finishing any of the things that I had. And it's like, end of the day, dude, like the most simple thing is like my favorite feeling in the entire world is just like listening back to a song that is done, like it's 100% done.
Yeah.
Like the awesome thing about that is that feeling is 100% up to me.
Yeah.
Like if
you have that control. Yeah.
If I want to feel that feeling more times, what do?
You just have to finish the song. What do you do?
Call him. That's my door.
Just like if you want to have that feeling more often, what would you do?
Great.
Finish the song. That's actually such a beautiful way to put it, because I think some of the things that make that industry shit so hypnotizing is like exterior reinforcement. Like it's exterior praise and like validation is the word I'm looking for, where it's like such like a nebulous, like, how do I know if I'm doing this right? Like somebody said the mix didn't sound right, or like they didn't like the verse, or I don't know, oh shit. Even without that, you could have a completely positive reaction to a song and it's still just like, well, it didn't blow up. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
But you're so, like getting to the roots of whatever you're doing, really. And like finding joy in like the day-to-day process of it, and finding those little goals of like, I finished my song that I was working on for a little bit. Or
that's awesome, dude. Like that's like the best thing.
That is the job at the end of the day. Like that's all you gotta do. Strangely difficult though.
I know.
Strangely difficult. Okay, that's episode 3. What a ride. Oh my God. I felt like I talked for like 90% of that. It's been a weird experience listening back to all my vocal tics and habits, but alas, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the show directly, you can by rating it 5 stars, sharing it with your friends, and we have a Patreon at patreon.com/Bryce Bishop. And that's it. I hope you all are well. And I'm Bryce, and thank you for everything.